The streaming landscape is going to look very, very different in the next 6 months. Everything you know of will still be around, but will it still be relevant? Well, today we're going to go through everything we know about Disney+, Apple TV+, HBO Max, and NBC Universal's unnamed service. Now, frankly, we could all spend a ton of money getting every single one of these, but it's smarter not to. So, let's go over the new services, figure out which ones you should be excited for, and how much this is all going to cost you. Now, at the end of it all, I'm going to ask you what your plan is for this new age in streaming, but we'll get there. Let's dive in. We're doing an overview of all these services, but we are going to do individual reviews of all of them as they come out, so subscribe to get all of those. Now, let's go in rank order. We're going to start what we're least excited about, all the way up to Apple Plus and Disney Plus. Now, NBC Universal's is the one we know least about. In fact, we don't even know what it's named yet. They haven't given it a name. We know that it will have The Office, which is leaving Netflix at the end of 2019. That is the most watched show on Netflix, so this could be a big deal for a lot of you, a lot of us potentially who enjoy watching The Office. Now, NBC also owns a lot of other stuff, a lot of cable channels like USA, Bravo, E, Syfy, MSNBC and CNBC, obviously. So we can assume, I think, that we're going to get a lot of stuff from those other channels as well. They also own Universal Pictures, films, lots of old and new classics to draw from there. As for when this will arrive, it's going to come in April of 2020. At least that's the date right now. Again, nothing has really been set in stone yet from NBC Universal, but that date is what they've thrown out to us. The cost on this, we do know that it will be free if you're a cable TV subscriber who can log in using, those credentials. Otherwise, you can get a streaming version if you're willing to pay for that. All of that will be commercial supported, but there is word that you'll be able to upgrade to a commercial-free version as well, kind of similar to what we see right now from Hulu. As for what the actual cost is on this, the dollar amount, we don't know yet what those costs are. If I had to guess, somewhere in the realm of $5 for commercial supported stuff and $10 for commercial free stuff, I suppose. Now, next up is HBO Max. We've talked about this one a lot on this channel already, and there will be a lot to talk about as we go forward. As for what we're going to get on here, it's all HBO content, past and future. For instance, in the future, we are going to have a Dune prequel series to go with the Dune movie that's coming out in 2020. There's a Gossip Girl sequel for some reason that I guess we'll find out.
We don't need a smoking gun. We just need a single thread to tie the two deaths together.
They will have most Warner Brothers movies and shows, not all of them though. Something like Harry Potter, that would be a huge draw, but that is tied up at NBC Universal, who owns those streaming rights until 2025. But HBO Max does have streaming rights for BBC, for several of their shows anyway. Doctor Who, Luther, Top Gear, these will be big draws for a lot of us. They also have rights to a lot of Turner channels, so TNT, TBS. They are going to have some of the Turner Classic Movies archives. How much of that, we don't really know yet. Now, as for the when on this, the beta launch will be late this year. So late 2019, they're going to offer a beta version of this. Who gets that and when, we don't quite know yet. But the full launch will be in spring of 2020, much like that NBC Universal app. As for the cost, it is rumored at $16 to $17. We'll see if that holds. So the question here is, what does that mean if you're already paying $15 a month for HBO Now? Well, we're not totally sure yet, but my guess is that you'll be automatically switched over to HBO Max. Your bill will go up a couple of bucks, and you'll get hordes of new content along with your regular HBO content. And frankly, I hope that's what happens, because wouldn't it be nice to get rid of the other 45 versions of HBO that we all have downloaded? So the price on this one is comparatively steep, I know, but you are getting a ton of premier content. So I'm a little bit more excited for this one than I am for the NBC Universal app. Next up, Disney Plus. Disney Plus is going to have a ton of content. All the Disney classic movies, Pixar classics, Star Wars. Eventually we'll get all the Star Wars movies on there. Marvel, they won't have all of them right away, but eventually, yes, we're getting 30 seasons of The Simpsons, on and on and on. Who's excited for the 90s Disney Channel original movies? I know we all are. Let's be honest.
It's Team Poppin' suds. You guys get paid in kibbles and bits, right?
They're also going to be spending a lot of money on original content for Marvel and Star Wars and on and on. They're even doing one of those live-action remakes, this one for Lady and the Tramp, that will be a Disney Plus exclusive. So they're spending a lot of money there. But frankly, it kind of doesn't matter how much they spend now, because you've got all these other companies like Netflix is spending $12 billion a year on original content. If you think that's a lot, try 75 years worth of Disney spending, hang on, doing the calculations, about $4.85 bajillion on content over the course of that company's life. So they've got a lot to draw on. This one is going to be a monster. It's going to come out on November 12th, and so I know we're all eagerly awaiting that date. The cost on this is $7 a month or $70 if you purchase a full year. You can get a bundle that includes Hulu and ESPN Plus, and that's going to be $13 a month. And at least for now, for a limited time, if you go sign up as a D23 member at Disney, you can get a mega discount on Disney Plus before it launches in November. Now, as for that cost, I am putting my flag in this one. I've done it before and I'll say it again. Disney is going to be losing money here in the short term because that cost is incredibly low. So in the long term, watch out for it. We're all going to sign up for Disney Plus, and then a year or two down the road, they'll hit us with those price increases. So just be ready for that.
But don't fit!
Fool you! Lastly, we have Apple TV Plus, and there's a reason I saved this one for last. I'll get there in just a second. Now, Apple has reportedly spent $6 billion on original content. It was supposed to be $1 billion. Well, that got out of control real quick. It's still not the same as $15 billion spent over at Netflix, but I think that instead of quantity, Apple is going for quality on this. They're aiming for more of a prestige content approach a la HBO, something like that. So you have things like The Morning Show with Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston, and that's about a morning show, as you might have guessed. Jason Momoa is doing some post-apocalyptic show. Octavia Spencer, Aaron Paul, Oprah. They're all doing shows, and these names don't come cheap, hence the $6 billion price tag. As for when it's coming out, Apple has recently announced that they are launching Apple TV Plus on November 1st, trying to undercut Disney Plus by at least a couple weeks. Similarly, they're going to undercut the price on that as well. They've announced that the price for that is $4.99 a month, a couple bucks less than Disney Plus. They're really taking it to them. So, am I excited about Apple TV Plus? Yeah, tentatively. Frankly, everything rides on whether there are going to be enough good shows to make it worth your while, or maybe if Apple can get one of those shows to become a cultural touchstone the way Game of Thrones was. So yeah, I'm interested, but I'm not necessarily excited. But I put this one last because it is the one that's coming out next, and it does have a lot of potential, I would say. And of course, we can't forget about the old standbys. We've got Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. Netflix is losing, like I've said, they're losing The Office to NBC Universal. They're losing Friends to HBO Max, which is going to carry that one. Now, Netflix is picking up some other stuff. They've picked off a lot of showrunners from network TV. You've got names like Shonda Rhimes. You would remember that from, what's that thing called? Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, I knew what it was. Ryan Murphy is a name. Kenya Barris you would know from Blackish. Shows like that. So they're picking up a lot of great showrunners. They could be going for more prestige HBO-style content as well. I guess we'll see where that goes. Hulu is still going to go strong because its biggest draw now is the Disney Plus bundle that it will be a part of for $13. So I don't think that Hulu will have a hard time staying relevant. And Prime Video likewise will keep chugging along just on the power of Amazon Prime. We all want that free shipping, and so we get the video that comes along with it. So with the numbers we've got at this point, if you crunch them all, you put them all together, it would cost you $72 a month to get all of the services that I've mentioned today, give or take. I mean, we're still guessing at some of those prices, right? So for me, I'll probably stick with, say, Disney Plus and Hulu, Netflix, and Prime Video. That would run me $36 a month. Not too bad for all of the content that I'm getting with that. I'm going to wait to hear how Apple TV Plus and HBO Max do before I decide if it's worth it to add them to my monthly cost. Frankly, personally, I'm not holding out much hope for NBC Universal, but what about you? What is your plan in 2020? I want to know, which of these services do you know you're going to sign up for? Which ones do you think you'll wait out? Let me know in the comments below. Now, don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and like I said earlier, be sure to subscribe if you want to stay on top of all these services, because I'll review them all as they come. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.